Well, with me to discuss this issue is EJ Hilbert, Managing Director of Kroll Cyber. He's an ex-FBI special agent specialising in cybercrime, counterintelligence and counter-terrorism. Thank you for being with us. I mean, the thing about that report we've just seen, it was a success. I mean, they stopped the criminals.
Absolutely. They were able to identify what had happened and were able to put a halt to it. So that was absolutely a success. But there's lots of other ones that you don't catch, and that's where the problem lies.
I mean, how big do you think? I mean, is there a way of putting a kind of value in the amount of cybercrime there is?
There's a number that's been floating around. About $1 trillion per year is spent in either fighting cybercrime or in terms of fixing the damage that they do. Imagine in this situation, they stop this transaction, but now they have to go back in, reset the system, bring in more people, harden it all up. There's a cost that's associated with this. And the simple fact is, cybercrime's easy. You can do cybercrime rather than walking in and trying to rob a bank. What,
yeah.
you get $3,000 at a bank, you go online, I can steal $3,000 in about 2 minutes.
I mean, there is this vision, when you talk to anybody, say to people, look, we're talking about hackers, cyber attacks. I mean, there's this vision of somebody sitting in their bedroom kind of, but this sounds a completely different scale.
It is completely transformed from where we were originally. If you think of the movies and how Hollywood portrays it, me sitting in my bedroom tapping on the keys, that's how it started in the mid-90s. And now we're into highly organized crime groups that know how to manipulate systems and see that it's far easier to go through data streams and identify things of that nature. And they engage. You've got foreign governments engaging students to help them out. You've got organized crime hacking group or organized crime traditional mafia type groups doing this. It's easy money for them. And given that there's no borders, I can be sitting in Russia, working in the US, doing it from the UK. I can do it from anywhere, and there's no jurisdiction to stop me.
Well, it's interesting that the case we were looking at, I mean, you've got the head of Europol talking about it. So are the people trying to stop cybercrime going to have to adopt some of the same things? In other words, they've got to lose their borders. They've got to try and have an international approach.
That is the only way it's going to stop, because the problem is, I started doing this in 2000, working with the Russians, and the Russian cops, they wanted to help, they wanted to do everything, but there simply were no laws. There was no way to stop these individuals from there. Now there is a collective, Europol, Interpol, everybody wants to do something, but now you've got politicians in the way, you've got other aspects to it. But the only way to stop this crime is to make it a global issue and make everyone...
I'm interested you say politicians are getting in the way. I mean,
right.
What are the politicians worried about?
Well, they don't understand. People don't understand this crime, the methodology, and so on. Just recently, the United States is trying to put forward a cybersecurity guidelines, okay? But what the U.S. suffered 4 or 5 years ago is what's just now being suffered throughout EMEA, and it's continuing to spread around the world. And if you don't understand it and you don't want to admit that you don't understand it, you get in the way.
But also, aren't some people going to be worried about that in order to catch these people, lots of innocent people are going to get caught in the trawl, as it were? I mean, is that a risk?
Well, it depends on what you mean with regards to catch the people for that. When you're looking at the data, you're tracking the data, the money, what they actually did. Yes, there will be an opportunity for innocent people, because I will, if I'm attacking somebody, I'm going to attack your computers first, then I'm going to attack your friends' computers, and then I'm going to attack the bad guys.
But in trying to catch you,
right?
Is there a danger that sometimes they're going to go through my system as well?
It's sometimes the same path I have to follow, because you don't know if your system's been owned. And owned meaning that these bad guys have taken it over. So I may be looking at your computer system right now, and lo and behold, the bad guys are just coming in every once in a while through a thing called botnets, which are a series of programs where you literally take over people's computers, and it is instructed on a daily basis or on an hourly basis to say, hey, what do you want me to do? Where do I go? What do I do? And then it gets a message, and it does it.
And presumably this is a constant race. Every time the authorities or companies come up with some kind of software to stop this, the hackers are busy trying to find a way around it.
There's a reason every Tuesday is Patch Tuesday for Microsoft. Every new fix, every new security, there's somebody out there trying to manipulate it. Think of it this way. Every time we use a technological advance to make our life easier, we're also making a criminal's life easier. They get to make more money that way. So yes, it's an arms race.
All right, EJ Hilbert, thank you very much for being with us. Thank you.
Right.
Well, you can get lots more information about cybercrime and all other news by, well, going to the BBC News website. We have full background on this cyber attack in Antwerp that we've just been reporting, and plenty of analysis and stories on other cyber attacks. Just log on to the BBC website. So you know the address, bbc.com/news.
Hey, George.
I'm going to